stored and pulled from a central server per se.
Right.
So like the average sale price right there, that theoretically could be being calculated from
MetaMask.
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
It's not
In
like
this case, I
there's
don't think it is,
an
but yes, it
Amazon
could be.
server that's crunching those numbers, right?
Right. Yeah.
No, there are actual people who pay
$1
money for these.
Yeah.
And
It's like a Beanie Baby.
This is on the public
They're-
network.
they're-
So
they're-
this is real data.
Yeah.
you pay $100 for an image.
What you got?
People pay a lot of money for a
Like you
piece
put
of
that
art.
image-
I don't know.
If you've never played like World of Warcraft and paid real money for it,
Yeah, that's coming too. So in the future, maybe in video games, and you like on Steam, you buy like these clothing for your virtual character. Why allow Steam to own the fact that you own that piece of armor? You know, what it wouldn't be better if you own the piece of armor or the sword
That
like
coin
on the
is called
blockchain? Then when you quit this one video game, you could go to the other video game and still have the armor and sword. That's where things are kind of going, because like this fact that you own that sword or armor is like decentralized. You own the fact that you own that, and that video game might not care that you own that, but they could. There could be multiple video games that care that you own that same piece of armor on the blockchain. That would be really cool.
Do you know a better functional example of why we would use a DApp? I mean, come on.
Does anybody?
To gamble?
Yeah, there are. Yeah, exactly. There are gambling dApps that allow you to
Fun
easily
fair.
interact with smart contracts. Really, anything.
Funfair is an interesting one to look
Yeah.
at. I saw that demoed at DevCon.
What's that one?
You want to play roulette? You want to play any sort of odd
games?
space? Yeah, chance. That's what it's called. Yeah, like so they don't do poker because there can be front running issues, but like
Yep.
roulette was an example I saw demoed and it was really
I
kind
guess,
of cool.
yeah. The problem, there's not a lot of like oracles yet. There's not like there is no death oracle, so there couldn't be like a dApp that would show you like who's passed away or something. There's not like an oracle that would link the blockchain. There's not a lot of oracles that link the blockchain with real things that are real and tangible yet. Like there's no oracle that will have like car accidents in it. You can't really. There's not one that does insurance yet, but it's coming theoretically.
We're gonna build it.
Yeah, go ahead and build it. It's just so early. There's still things being created. Like Ethereum is still to figure out what it is.
So
Right,
there's one.
but
So
it'll
I
happen.
so I went to a dinner at DevCon and there was a dApp called Block Party, and so to register my spot at this dinner, I had to send like 0.1 ETH or something like that to the smart contract that then said that if I failed to show, I would lose that deposit. But if I showed up, they checked me in and validated that I attended. So 2 people didn't show. And so after the dinner, I was able to pull my 0.1 Ether
Plus
out
theirs.
along with like 0.02 or something of the 2 people that didn't show up. It got split up.
That's
The people.
awesome.
And so,
Yeah.
so they use that at
broke their legs.
they used that at the London Ethereum meetup, and they were asking if we could do a test of it here at the Michigan Ethereum meetup. So we
Yeah.
might do like a fun like meetup just to try that dApp out. It was kind of a cool experience though, to like show up, do it, and actually the guy that wrote Metamask was at the dinner too, so it's kind of cool to talk to him a little bit. But we might do a meetup like that just for shits and giggles.
So it's really easy to do like security deposits and escrow.
Yeah, escrow is usually the smart
main
contract example I
killer
use.
app
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
There's a functioning insurance app for plane arrivals.
Yeah, there was one
Oh.
for DevCon flights, so you could ensure that if your flight was late, you'd actually get paid insurance out in
You just
Ether.
have to-
And that was on the production net, and it was underwritten by a real insurance company.
You have to just
Oh,
trust.
sorry,
You
that
still have to
works.
trust
I was
that
crowdsourced.
company,
Yeah,
right?
no, it was a legitimate
But
insurance company.
You still have to trust that company, but now it's linked to a trustless network, so that's cool.
So MetaMask handles the network layer for dApps. Is that what MetaMask
Yeah, it's like
is?
it basically turns Chrome into an Ethereum-enabled browser.
Yeah,
So you could also
browser.
use a completely Ethereum-enabled browser from the ground up, like Cloud or Mist, I think are the ones.
Yeah, Mist is another one.
Yeah, and that's like they basically like probably forked Chrome. And
Yeah, or you could
build
use-
it,
you
kind
could
of
use
build
Parity.
MetaMask into it. Per
Yeah,
se.
they use Electron, I think, which is built on
But kind of
Chrome
built on
or
like
something.
Chromium or something.
yeah Chromium.
Whatever. Yeah.
So does MetaMask have your private key if you're sending?
Yeah, but it's encrypted on your computer
MetaMask
technically with the
doesn't have
password.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
MetaMask
MetaMask the company doesn't have it.
no.
You store it on your computer.
You
And
have
then
to
it's
trust
encrypted with
that
a
the
password.
MetaMask plugin
Yes.
can't
Yes.
read your public key.
Absolutely, but you can
And your
read
private
the,
key.
you can
Yes.
read the source code of the MetaMask plugin on GitHub.
Okay.
MetaMask is essentially like a software wallet, just like Electrum
Yep,
or
exactly.
anything else.
Yep,
It's a
yep,
software
yep,
wallet,
yep.
but it's also has a connection to the Ethereum network.
It's a great
so
example.
you can
Yeah.
broadcast your transactions through it as well.
And the plugin is in JavaScript, so you could just open and look at it
Yep. Yep.
directly in the browser.
Yeah. And you could build it yourself from source and put it in your Chrome if you were really paranoid, right?
So what would be really killer, and we haven't talked about hardware wallets tonight, but what would be really killer is, and I talked to the Metamask guy about this, is if instead of using my private key stored in Metamask would send a transaction to my hardware wallet, I could sign it on the hardware wallet, and it would send it back to Metamask so we could use this dApp with a hardware wallet. And you can do that with Parity today, so there are ways. It's not super user-friendly yet, but like every month it's getting better.
So I guess this is a segue into that. Yeah. So last topic really for the evening, hardware wallets. So instead of using like a calculator to create a wallet, there have been devised ways to take a little device you can buy, and then hit a couple buttons on it, and it will generate a public address and private key for you right on the device. And then what you could do is typically there's a USB connection on that. You can plug it into your computer, and it can sign transactions for you without divulging the private key that's stored within it. And I believe the private key that's stored within these is typically in like a special chip that's like supposed to be
secure
built for
enclave.
Secure enclave chip. Is that
like,
developed by Intel in conjunction with someone else?
So one of them is
That's
Intel.
how
Yeah.
it is
The
Intel.
Intel one has an issue, and it affected certain hardware
But
wallets.
it didn't affect this.
No,
Really.
the Ledger used like ST Micro or something like that.
Just keep up with the news, I guess. But I mean, yeah. So that's the idea, and then you can do other cool things with it, like put a fake account on there. If someone holds a gun to your head, you could send money to it, and you could take the seed or the private key. And it never divulges your private key. You can take the seed from it, write it on a piece of paper,
Right.
and then if you lose the Trezor or the Ledger Nano, whatever else is devised in the future. You could buy a new one, put the seed, and type in the seed on there.
Additionally, so kind of
back.
to Dave's question, so like what I did is I took my first ledger, I generated those 24 seed words, and then I took another ledger and I restored it to that ledger. So now I have two ledgers that have the same private key on them with a PIN. So then I can take that second ledger, I can give that to a relative, and I could elect to tell them the PIN, or maybe I write the PIN down, give the PIN to my lawyer, and I give my relative the seed right. So then if I die, then they'll
divulge the PIN. The
I wouldn't
instructions on how
give
to use it.
any lawyer the
Trezor.
private key.
Yeah.
No offense.
Or the Ledger. Yeah, that's smart. So there's all types of really cool features built into these, and there's more little features they're building in, and as time goes on, like the PIN for security and what have you. Maybe they'll have one that like scans your eyeball or something. Whatever.
Well, so really quick comment on it. So Apple has this new like face recognition thing. I like to describe it as like biometric identification. It's like a good username, but not a good password, right? So it's good for validating maybe the who, but you don't want to use a face as a password. I mean, like
it could be
like we've heard about in the last week or two. So
like
it's great for validating who it is, but it's not a good password.
Yeah. So I think passwords are going to continue to be used. Pins and for the far future probably, but I mean buying a hardware wallet isn't very expensive. Like they might cost like less than 0.01 BTC now. I don't know.
The other nice thing about the hardware wallet is it gets around the issue of your seed words being seen on your computer monitor.
Totally, yeah.
Because it shows up just on the little screen of your hardware wallet.
And it's like built to be air gapped, right? So if you have Trojans on an effective computer, blah 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 blah, your computer could be totally compromised. But if you're using a hardware wallet, you could sign transactions on that computer and you'd be safe. Theoretically, if you're doing
So like if you pull up my Ether wallet, like if you generate a transaction in that, it'll actually send it to the hardware wallet to be signed. On that hardware wallet, it'll actually verify an amount of Ether and the address. And so if that doesn't match what you think it's supposed to, then you don't actually physically press a button to actually sign the transaction on the hardware wallet to send it back to the computer.
Yeah.
And so even if you like cut and pasted and like there's some Trojan on your computer that like changed it around so it looked like one thing but it was actually another, your hardware wallet would show the actual value that it's going to use to sign the transaction.
Oops. Okay, fine. Save it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Private key.
There it is. Oh, we can also print paper wallets.
Yeah, so in this case, like we can use my Ether wallet with all these different hardware wallets as well.
Wallet. Oh, look at that. Oops.
So the only reason I would use a key store file on my
Oh,
Ether wallet is because I'm using it on an air-gapped computer for cold storage generation.
Oh.
And we could probably do a follow-up meetup where we walk through that, or maybe we could do like a smaller thing at a coffee shop where maybe 10 of us kind of huddle. We've done that before, like last year we did that, just kind of huddle around and installed wallets and played around a little bit. Maybe we'll do some smaller meetups if there's any interest. Just maybe send me an email or post a note on the meetup group and we can set something up.
Mm. There's all sorts of weird things you'll encounter. Like, you have to just read a lot, I guess. Still, you can't summarize it all in 2 hours. But like, so for example, I stored tokens on Metamask, and then I saved my seed phrase, and then I restored my seed phrase later on a different Metamask session, and then my tokens are gone. I'm like, what the heck happened to my tokens? Well, it's because you have to, or I think it was parity. Anyway, with most Ethereum like wallet software, you have to tell it the smart contract address of the tokens. Otherwise, it's not going to know that you have tokens. You have to basically tell it, I think I have tokens in this, assigned to this smart contract, with input in the address of like the CryptoPunk smart contract or whatever, and then it will say, oh yeah, you do have like 20 tokens of that thing, right? Because it doesn't have the capacity to like, whenever you open the software, scan every single smart contract that we created and then like find ones that are linked to your address. It's just not going to do that.
Yeah, Metamask doesn't. So my Ether wallet's pretty good. It like the top 20 popular coins out there, it does that.
Okay,
so
sure.
It's a little easier now.
But if you have some obscure,
Or if you
Bad
participated
coin.
in some ICO yesterday, which hopefully you didn't, that's probably not going to be in my Ether wallet yet, and you would have to add it yourself.
Ether scans, fairly good about that
Yep.
though, about showing you what ones are attached to your address.
Okay, but if somebody's never done anything, all this is overwhelming.
oh yeah, for sure. I'd say start
where,
with
where do you
something
tell them to
simple.
start?
Coinbase.
I want to buy $100.
Coinbase, yeah.
Coinbase.
Let me be your investor.
I want to buy $100. You go to Coinbase, you sign up, and you buy $100 until you understand what you're doing.
Yeah, and then
Move it
progress,
around,
maybe
play with it.
play with Electrum Wallet or some sort of simple wallet software. Just play around with it on like maybe a non-air-gapped computer, but don't send any coins to it, obviously. And then if you're ready to create a paper wallet.
Yeah, the best way
really
is
the best way is the hardware
spend
wallet.
$100 at Coinbase,
Yeah.
get some Ether, some Bitcoin, and actually do your first
Do
transaction.
research.
Like, it seems complex, but once you like do the first one, you're like, holy shit, like that was amazing. It took like 5 seconds.
Whoa.
Cash on Coinbase isn't sure.
Yeah,
Cash
it is.
Cash maybe. Okay. Yeah.
And two-factor authentication with your cell phone is dead. You
Yeah.
cannot use that anymore at all.
Oh, you have to use like an app
Right, you have to use an
because
offline.
it's more secure.
And actually, you can use your Ledger Nano as a two-factor authentication device. So, like, you could require your Google account. You actually plug your Ledger in and approve your login on your Google account.
That's cool.
So, like, Google Advanced Protection, I've been posting about this in some of the online groups. It's great. Like, it removes the ability to use your cell phone. You can't even use the Google Authenticator app anymore. You have to have a physical hardware device to log into your Google account. I highly recommend that to anyone storing any sort of cryptocurrency.
So
Why?
what do you
Because your
recommend?
phone can be hacked?
Yeah,
Oh, easily, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
happened to
taken
people.
over.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't gonna say it happened to Dave last month.
It sucked. I lost my email for about a week, and I got my Google Docs, my email, and all that
And your phone number, right?
stuff. Well, yeah, my phone number I got back within like an hour.
Yeah.
But they'd already.
How did you find out about it?
So I went to make a call, and my phone said something like network not available.
Do you think someone like called your service provider and was like,
Absolutely.
"Hey,
Yeah, they already tried to do
blah, blah,
it twice.
What
I think
service
there's
was
there's
it?
people in the Philippines that have like literally hundreds of employees, and they call up
Mhm.
AT&T and they find somebody that's weak,
Yeah.
and they get your
Sob
phone. And as
story,
soon
yeah.
as they do, they two-factor authenticate all your bank accounts.
They
everything.
reset your two-factor authentication.
They drain everything from you. And this has happened to some really big people.
Bo Shem lost, what, $1 million in Ethereum
At least.
that way?
Yeah, it's serious. Like, I
use 2FA on your phone for anything.
No.
Well,
I would
not with like the 2FA that sends you a text. That's
Not SMS.
vulnerable.
Right.
The
Not
2FA that
SMS.
uses like
Authenticator app.
That's
Google
okay.
Authenticator,
If
that's
you use
secure.
Authenticator app, that'll work.
Well, unless as long as your Google account is
That's
secure.
what, like,
Well, no, it's not linked to your Google account. Yeah, it's not saved. It's kind of separate. So
Well,
it's
the-
like
the whole idea
but
of
if you have it before, you can-
if someone
you can recreate
compromises
the
your
phone.
phone, if they don't have
No,
the password.
no,
they
if
don't
you
have
were to
the-
back up your iPhone,
Yeah, but
They can get their
they can remake your
passwords
phone,
if they
because
just say, and I
they took
forgot
your
it,
phone
and send you the
What?
two-factor
Didn't
authentication.
they take your phone number?
Yeah, they have my phone number for an hour.
Yeah, so they could actually
They
duplicate
they
your
reset.
phone.
But the
It's two-factor.
authenticator won't show up on the new phone.
Oh, that's right.
No,
It's not-
we have to write down your.
No, but guys, they took his phone number. They told Google, I lost access to my two-factor
Google.
authentication. They reset the authentication to their own authenticator, so it didn't matter that they didn't have Dave's authenticator. They used his phone number to reset it for his account.
Oh.
So like,
And the two-factor
if they get
for
your
his
phone
Google- for
number,
his Google account, but
Yeah.
but if you had Coinbase set to two-factor authentication of the original authenticator app on your phone, then resetting your
They
Google
couldn't get into your
authentication,
Coinbase
it's
then.
still wouldn't-
Probably.
I don't know about Coinbase
But-
specifically.
But if
Well,
they got
and-
in your
and-
email, they
and
could do
the
some
exchange.
serious damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't get
Regardless.
into my Coinbase or my Gemini or any of that stuff because they all had two-factor. So
Oh,
You
good.
know, Coinbase is doing about $250 million a day in transactions, and so if you get your money stolen from there, they're going to make you whole. 'cause
No,
it-
they're not.
maybe.
No.
They covered like
People,
51 million.
we know someone who lost their account at Coinbase because of the
My best friend
API.
lost some
The
money.
API was like new
Still
and
waiting
it
for my
sucked.
orders to be filled.
And someone he somehow like enabled his API and then someone like guessed his API key or something.
Coinbase is not
It was
refunding
own-
accounts.
no, they didn't refund his account.
Two-factor authentication, though, if you, like on Coinbase, all two-factor authentication, when you use the authenticator, most places will provide you the seed, and you need the seed when you install the authenticator on a new phone. Like if you lose your
Mhm.
phone with your Coinbase two-factor authentication, and then you don't have the seed to it, you're gonna have to go through a bunch of identity
Oops.
verification
Yeah,
for them
right.
to disable
Oh,
it.
yeah?
And so,
But if you use Authy
Yeah,
for
one-
with Coinbase, then you can reset it with Authy.
Once you set up two-factor authentication with Authenticator, that one Authenticator app on that phone, because I formatted my phone, just set it up, and didn't back up the Authenticator. Installed it again, but that was gone. I had to reset two-factor on all my exchange accounts, and you got to go through.
But there's a
KYC
2FA
on all of them.
called Authy that you can put a password on. That if you lose it, you can put it on a new phone, put your
Right,
password
sure.
on it, and it's really secure how it will allow it on a new phone.
Mhm.
But you can reset it with a phone number, so if you lose your phone number, all your Authys can get compromised.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, I don't think you can use Authy with Coinbase anymore, I think, because they have
Right, you can't.
issues
But if you have
with
over a
it.
certain amount of
Yeah.
Bitcoin, I think.
But I know, like, I use Authy for plenty of sites, so, like, if your phone number gets owned, like, it's useless.
There's no switch to turn that off though.
Yes.
And then you can just turn it on
Yes.
when you want to switch to your backup phone or whatever.
And sometimes security
Wild
is
West.
just making it harder to break your security than the other guy.
Just
you know?
print it out on paper, print a copy
Yeah.
of it, put it in two spots.
But yeah, print your air gap computer or just use a hardware wallet. That's probably the best easiest way in general. If you really want to be super secure.
Well, the problem with me, like they didn't get my Bitcoins, but they just, because they knew I had Bitcoins, they still, messed up my life for a week.
Yeah.
So like,
Why do you think you were?
So you don't want to divulge the fact that you have
they
Bitcoin.
just knew I had
probably.
Bitcoins and they wanted to steal them.
Why? Because you listed on some social.
You go on,
Because
a,
Yeah,
you
talk
go
about it on
on a
Twitter
Bitcoin
and
forum and put your email address on
Speak
there.
at
See what
conferences about it
happens.
and stuff like that. So.
Dave was writing about Bitcoin 5 years ago, and it's out there. I mean, everyone in this meetup is on the web,
Yeah.
right? So 5 years from
We're
now,
all
so it's like,
getting
who is
hacked
going to meet
tomorrow,
up
so
in
register for this
2017, right?
meetup.
But that's because email addresses and identity is owned by